welcome to the Macho Show! Hi.
So what she meant to say was, hello and welcome to the Macho Show!
That is what I said! That's what I said! I was waiting for you to come in.
No, what you said is, hello and welcome to the Macho Show!
Yeah, that's... Fuck you. Okay, just fucking do what you're supposed to do. Are you not gonna do it?
What do I normally do? I don't know what the
do
hell.
The Macho Man thing.
Oh, well, I don't really do it. I just try to do it. Ooh,
you do it like every time. Yeah.
That's a little bit better than before.
I was gonna start singing. Now you're a man, but I didn't want to cut you off because I knew that you were gonna start, but then you didn't.
Well,
okay.
like all men, we just started a little too late.
Well, yeah, we did. It is a little late, but it's okay. Don't worry. Hello, everyone in the chat. Oh.
Yeah. Now you're a man.
Man. Oh, okay. So today we don't have a necessary underlying theme. The only thing that we could really come up with was that tomorrow is the remembrance of Pearl Harbor. But this specific day
been on that one, so it's like, hey, remember when the USS Arizona sank to the bottom of Pearl Harbor? We sure do.
Yeah, so besides that, there's not too much really going on this week. I didn't really hear about any like crazy news or anything this past week. I don't know about you, but yeah, I also look like shit. Breaking news. That's the news this week. I look like shit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put these glasses back on.
Shit, so you know.
Yeah, but I mean, at least people expect that. Just kidding. Oh. So today.
But you know, it's always good to talk about veterans, and we don't do it often enough. I mean, we certainly try to do it, but you know.
Not to mention our calendar goes towards vets mentoring vets, which we have already donated $100 to.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So after all the calendars we've sold, we were able to donate $100, and that was really awesome. Have you heard of Save James? Someone said in the chat. No, I have no fucking idea what that is. Is Save James the kid forced to be trans? I hope not, because that sounds awful. Nobody should be forced to be trans.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of children are forced. Like, I keep hearing these news stories about, like, these children that their mothers want their boys to be girls, so they force them to girls. And there was one incident where, like, as soon as he was like 4 years old, his mother convinced him that he was a girl. But then the father, because they were already divorced, got custody by the time the child was like 6 or 7, and almost immediately started playing with cars, started identifying as a boy. And the father did nothing. He just let the boy be whoever he wanted to be.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't understand people like that. Like, I don't know. I personally don't really want to have children, but if I ever did have a child, like, I couldn't imagine trying to, you know, force them to be a certain way, especially if it was like a drastic change like that. Like, you don't see, like, I don't know. It's like, look at the history of the world. Like, I know that's like not really like an argument or anything, but like nobody has tried to do this shit up until now. Like, you know, like trying to make sure that their children are trans or gay or whatever. Like, who cares what your child is or isn't or whatever. It's like
I'm
it's
actually
like
going to slightly disagree with you because there's a condition known as Manchester syndrome. And I think it's related to the trans issue. Manchester syndrome is when parents would, especially mothers, make their children sick so they could get sympathy. Oh, you must be so brave for taking care of a sick child. And I think this is an extension of that. It's like, oh, you must be so brave having a trans child.
yeah.
And I think it's child abuse. They're forcing this ideology onto their children, telling them that you're the wrong gender. I mean, when I was like, I say this a lot, but when I was 8 years old, I saw how better treatment girls got. So I said out loud in front of my stepfather, I wish I was a girl. Now, thankfully, I wasn't born during this era and that he's a complete asshole, but he's like, don't you fucking say that again. I'm glad I'm a guy. I'm glad of my wing dang woodle.
Proud of my penis.
So,
I mean, I'm glad that I'm a chick too. I mean, I went through a phase like that in high school, and I knew from the beginning that there was no way that I could be a man, just because there's no actual like legitimate sex change from female to male. It's just not pretty. And so I had the privilege of knowing that it could never actually like happen that way. But when I say privilege, it's like, I don't know. It was still weird. It's like I was like, I just wish that I could have a dick, And some people, I mean, everybody feels that way sometimes. Dudes are like, yeah, if I had tits, I'd play with them all day. But it's like you don't actually, go through with it. Oh, like some people.
Well, growing up, we were very poor, and I always felt like if I wasn't born a boy, I'd have nothing to play with.
I didn't play with myself at all when I was a young lass. A wee lass.
Around 8 years old. I mean, it was kind of a little bit after my rape, but it was really the movie Cocoon that kind of inspired me. It's like I started having dirty thoughts after that movie.
The Cocoon?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's a really old movie, but it's not really old. It was during my lifetime as a child. But it's basically like a bunch of old people find these cocoons with glowy people in them, and they become younger after swimming in a swimming pool. And there is a scene with a younger woman, although all you can see is like her naked ass. But that was enough to start my sexual exploration.
Okay. See, I never touched myself until someone touched me first. And after that, I was just like, oh, whatever. I guess it's not that as scary as I thought it was, because I was absolutely terrified of anything sexual, anything like remotely related to sex. I was absolutely terrified of. But after someone touched me, I was like, whatever. And then
almost like your mother's influenced your fear of sex.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if someone had told me that it was normal, then I definitely would have probably experimented or something like that. Or if nobody had said anything at all, I probably would have tried to figure it out for myself. But since somebody told me that it was wrong and evil, then, I was just like, okay, whatever. Someone in the chat said, don't use PayPal. They're just as bad as Patreon. I've never had a problem with PayPal as bad as I've had with Patreon. Never.
I haven't had a problem yet with either one, but I know they're pretty bad. As long as they're working for me, I'm going to still use them.
Yeah.
But, it's also funny that, I had somewhat of a Christian background. My parents weren't, but my grandmother was. She was deeply religious. And I used to feel guilty throughout my teenage life of masturbating.
Oh
And, you know,
yeah.
I'm hypersexual, so I was masturbating like 3 times a day. And I would just feel guilty afterwards because I
Yeah.
thought God hated me.
Right, yeah. I was thinking like for so long I was like, God is reading my thoughts, he knows everything I'm thinking about or drawing or like doing and stuff like that. And it was like what. And then one of my Christian like best friends when I was little, she came out of the shower one day and she was wearing a shirt. This sounds erotic, but we were young, so don't don't think it was erotic. She came out like pinching her nipples through her shirt, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm pinching my nipples," and I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "What do you mean? Everybody pinches their nipples," and I was like, "What?" I was like, I don't even know. I was like 12 maybe, and then I went home like a couple days later, and I was like, what does this actually feel like? So I like tried it and I was like, I don't know. I don't know what this is. And then after that, when I turned 13, that's when when I got in a relationship with someone. Well, no, when I was 12, I was in like a little relationship that I never even kissed this guy, but he was like, do you ever masturbate? And I was like, what is that? I had no idea what it was. And he was like, wait, you really don't know what masturbating is? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, well, go ask your mom or something. And I was like, no. No, I'm not asking my mom. Fuck that. And so he told me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, no, I've never done that. And then I asked another one of my friends about it, and they were like, well, yeah, I've done it before. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they were like, I mean, I can stop if you want me to. And I was like, wait, what? No, I don't give a shit. What do you mean? Okay, whatever. And then I actually asked my mom about it, and she was like, oh, well, I never knew about masturbation until I was 18 years old, and I had no idea what a dildo was until I went to college. And I was like, oh, okay. And I already knew what a dildo was, but I didn't know what masturbation was for some reason.
Yeah, I don't believe that for 1 minute that anyone waits until they're 18 to masturbate. I mean, I had a friend who was like 26 before he got laid, and that was mostly because he didn't really care if he got laid or not, but I'm quite certain he masturbated a lot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, after that, well, like 14 and on, or no, 14 to like 16. That was when I like masturbated like every single day. Or I was having sex, either or. But if I was single, I was usually masturbating. Slut? What? What do you call me?
I said you're a slut.
Yes. I was calling this one dog at work today a slut because she kept like laying on the ground and like showing herself to all the dogs and be like, come play with me. And I was like, stop being a slut. Stop being a slut.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have sex until I was 18. And it wasn't from a lack of desire, it was a lack of availability. I wish I had joined the band because I heard a lot of rumors that they were a sexual bunch.
I'm kind of glad that I had sex when I was 14 because I immediately realized that everything that my mom had told me was pretty much bullshit about, like, the extremes of sex and, God, basically. I was like, how can there be a God when everything I've heard is lies? And then I was pretty much just like, I like sex. I'm gonna do that.
I'm starting to picture your mother as the woman from Carrie's mother. Like,
Oh,
when Carrie has a menstruation cycle, she makes her daughter go into a room and pray to God. Sorry for being a woman.
oh my god. Yeah, see, I'm glad she wasn't that bad. Like she honestly wasn't like it was only certain things that she was really religious about. Other things she really didn't give a shit. And now she doesn't give a shit at all. And
That
you
reminds me of
know,
my mother when I first came home from the military. I got a tattoo, and it pissed my mother off. She wouldn't talk to me for like a few hours, but now she has like 3 of them. So
she does?
yeah, yeah, she has several tattoos. And I tell her about, like, remember the first time? She's like, I was never angry. I supported it. I'm like, no, you didn't. You were fucking angry. And it pissed my brother off because he was the black sheep of the family. He's like, I can't believe you got a tattoo before I did. But I want to respond to something that Brad Young said. Fat girls, dude, they're fun as hell and they try harder. Well, when I was in high school, I did date a fat, and I did it for the wrong reason. I thought because I didn't have much luck with slender girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't exactly a prize catch myself. So I'm like, well, maybe if I go for the less attractive woman, it'll be a better experience. Nope, it was the worst experience of my life because we only dated for 2 months. I think she just wanted a Christmas present and someone to take her to the winter formal. Because once we came back from school, like the day we came back from winter break, she broke up with me. Then she spread a rumor that I abused her during our relationship, and she only stayed with me, again for 2 months, because she loved me. And a lot of people didn't believe it. So I'm glad about that. But one of my closest friends, he believed it. And he actually grabbed me by the shirt and raised his fist ready to hit me. And she was standing right there watching this whole thing. And he eventually decided, because I wasn't going to fight back. If he's going to hit me, he's going to hit me. And, it's just so funny to me that she had to play the victim. And now, seeing everything I have, I definitely understand that. But it was like, I could never understand why she had to say that I abused her. What did she gain from it? So,
See, that reminds me of when I was about 16 and this chick that I dated, also a fat chick. See, no, it's not fat chicks. You have to analyze every single woman. You have to ask them specific questions to guarantee that they're down, that they're a down bitch, okay? That they're gonna be your hope for life. Because you can't just like jump into something just because they're like fat or slutty or not seemingly crazy at first, but you have to make sure. Okay, unless you're just trying to hook up with them. But okay, so this chick, she was a redhead. Now she's bald, but she was a redhead, and she was very scary. And I dated her and another chick for a while. And she told me that a guy that I had sex with had raped her. And, obviously I immediately believed her because I was 16. I was like, why would someone fucking lie about that? And she told me that she described it in detail, really shitty detail, by the way. It was a very, like, now that I look back on it, it was a very non-believable story. But she was like telling me, she was like, oh yeah, we were here and he was doing this, and then he and then he took my head and like made me suck his dick and all this shit. And I was like, oh, that's fucking horrible. Like, you know, I don't know why anybody would do that. And then the next time I saw him at this, at the like, high school football, uh, thing or whatever, the football game. We went there and I saw him and I got so angry. I started having a panic attack and I was like, I just want to go over there and like beat him up because, you know, you told me that shit. And she was like, it's okay. It's okay. And now, and then I, you know, we broke up, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to him about it and he was like, yeah, do you really think that I would try to do something to someone like that? And I was like, you're right. Like, you know, that's not an excuse, like, you know, for actual like sexual assault victims, but like he was not somebody that he was a very shy person. Like once I actually like evaluated like the situation and stuff, I was like, there's no fucking way. And then he told me that she had gotten pissed at him for some stupid shit, so she was just making shit up. And you know, he was glad that I had told him about it. And I was just like, wow, you know, I'm really glad that I talked to you and didn't just blindly believe her for long, because, you know, that kind of hatred is just ridiculous, you know. And now I'm just like, I don't know. When people tell me stuff like that, I like try to be sympathetic, but I also try to be skeptic at the same time and not make any irrational decisions. Like, it's
Well, something
very,
that
very
happened.
ridiculous how much power women have over that shit.
Well, I have an awful story. This didn't happen during high school. This actually happened after I became an adult. And it was actually on an online community. I was playing Matrix Online. And at first I had my own guild, and then my guild dissolved, so I joined another guild that was very popular that I had a lot of run-ins with. So I joined them, and there was a woman on there, and it was an actual woman. And I met her when I first ran my own guild that was a part of this group, and we started kind of an online relationship. Now, yes, I will admit right away that she was married at the time, but she just didn't love her husband anymore and blah, blah, blah. And then she decided to leave her husband. And it's like almost the moment she left her husband, she broke up with me. But we continued to talk to each other. And every now and then we would have cyber sex. And most of the time she initiated, but we'd always talk dirty to each other. Even after we broke up, there was still this thing where we'd still talk dirty to each other all the time. Well, somewhere along the line, she decided that she no longer wanted to do it. Probably because we got into a lot of fights, and she was kind of person that was like, well, I just don't want to fight anymore. Can we just forget that we were fighting? And I'm the kind of person, well, no, because we're going to start fighting again. Oh, you got a puppy. You didn't tell me you get a puppy.
Yeah, I got a puppy. His name is Derp. He got his shots today.
So anyways, so, I mean, I'm a person that wants to resolve things so they don't restart. So I think that was kind of it. But she didn't tell me that she wanted to stop. What she did instead is she went to our guild leader and told him that I was sexually harassing her, and apparently showed him text chats of me sending her dirty messages. And she's like, see, this is proof. And he came to me, my guild leader, because we were friends, and he was like, dude, you know, I'm getting some rumors about you sexually harassing someone, and I'm just going to ask you to stop. Well, I decided, because she just went to that, she just went behind my back and told our leader about it, that I needed to leave altogether. I mean, not even just the guild. I left the game altogether. I didn't want to play anymore.
Oh.
Because if she was willing to go through all of that, how much worse could it be? So I figured it was just better if I left. So I wrote a message saying that I was leaving to the rest of the guild. I showed the guild leader, he approved it, and we posted it online. Well, on the last day that I was there, people were in the chat room saying, hey, please don't go. You know, we love you. You're really great. Everyone was trying to convince me to stay. She jumps into the chat room and says, now I feel really bad because I know he's leaving because of me, and I'm just going to leave. And instantaneously, in that single moment, everyone supported her and hated me. Because she threatened to leave, everyone's like, well, he's already leaving. He's a horrible person. And I was just so flabbergasted that people were so quick to turn on me. One moment saying, please don't go, to the next moment saying that I'm an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that story. It's fucking stupid how... I don't know. Like, what... Was there a reason?
I'm surprised how they reacted. Because a woman skinned her knee and started crying, everyone is rushing around her to figure out how they can serve her and make her happy, but a man is injured and no one gives a shit. It was the first time I was ever truly exposed to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I... Ooh, hello, Papa. People... Like, I've seen that so many times. It's like, it's hard to, like, think about specific ones because it's never happened to me because I'm not a man, but I know, like, multiple... So obviously you would remember it more than I would because I've just seen so many... I don't know, so many double standards throughout.
Double standards all my life. That's why when I said I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a girl. I didn't realize it at that time, but it's like girls got all the best treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and that was back in the 80s. I can only imagine today. No wonder why so many boys are claiming to be girls, becoming trans, because then they get to be treated better. I mean, if I was a child during this day and age, I'd probably do the exact same thing so I'd get better treatment.
I mean, look at Riley Dennis. He's a lesbian. He can't be touched with that. Shit. Ooh. I mean, people... I don't know. I don't really see the... Like, men and women, they both try to protect women at all costs. And when men get fucked over, it's like, oh, you know, I mean, it's so stereotypical. It almost sounds like ridiculous to even mention. You know what I mean? Like, men are always put down.
There's the kicker right there. Because we live in this world where even having an International Men's Day, feminists come on and it's like, why do we need a day for men? Every day is for men. Because in their mind, it's so ridiculous to even consider the fact that this society highly favors women, which is obvious every single day. Every single news event is in favor of women. And yet when we try to bring this out, it's like, well, you know, I don't see that. I'm not like that. You must be wrong. I mean, the whole Me Too movement is indication of this gynocentric idea that all men are rapists. Because when men tried to come in,
women can't lie.
Me too, I've gotten raped. Women are like, no, you're trying to invade our space. This is just about women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even like I met up with an old friend over the weekend, and we talked about politics basically, and I was well, I don't know, him and my mom got on the topic of like immigration, and I just don't really have much of an opinion on that, but I was like, you know, the most I know about is like gender politics. That's my specialty. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I mean, the fact that, I mean, there's no patriarchy, no rape culture in the West. And he was like, so what makes you say that? And I was like, well, the fact that, you know, women are disproportionately favored in the, you know, in anything when it comes to rape and sexual assault, and that men are joked about and can't even talk about being molested or raped or anything like that. And he was like, but, you know, don't you think that women are raped more? And I was like, no. You know, I know at least like I know at least 10 men off the top of my head that have told me personal stories about being raped by women. And not to mention the fact that prison rape gets swept under the bridge. And he was like, oh, well, you know, females probably get raped in prison too. And I was like, there's a culture involved with with men getting raped in prison. Like he was very disproportionately in favor of women and minorities. And it was like, why can't you look at both, you know, problems? Why can't you look at all the problems without favoring one over the other?
Well, it's because he's blue pill. He's been programmed to think exactly that. And the moment you challenge narrative, his immediate response is, oh, well, you're just wrong on the principle that women and minorities.
Right. Yeah.
We're programmed to win the approval of women. So if women say they're weaker, we think they're weaker. If women say they're victims, they're victims. And so if we want a woman to like us, we have to feed into the delusion.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what I thought, you know, up until I met feminists who were actually sexist towards men. And I was like, oh, you know, men can experience discrimination as well. And nobody else seemed to agree with me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck you. Literally everyone can experience discrimination. My little Doge can experience discrimination. Just because he's a white male doesn't mean nothing. No, he wants to leave.
Well, he definitely looks like Brian, I'll just say that.
Right? Oh my god, yes, I love him.
I've actually touched him. I mean, met him.
Oh. But yeah, it's always, I mean, I've always seen people just be more shitty towards men. And even, you know, people would always tell me, you know, oh, you know, there's certain things that you're gonna get picked on because you're a girl. And it's like, well, that's nothing compared to getting beat the shit out of and fucking, like, you know, shunned if you're gay or, you know, shit like that. Like, when I like only maybe a couple people got pissed if they were called like a lesbian or something. Like, it really wasn't something that people gave a shit about, you know, ever. People really don't give a shit if girls like girls. But if guys like guys, then you better believe that it's gonna be a fucking, like, huge deal, and that they're gonna be called all sorts of things and bullied and all. I don't know.
No,
or either that, or they'll be praised. It depends on where they're from, honestly.
Well, that is true, but certainly during this time and age, you're more likely to be praised for being gay than being straight. And there was that one show, I can't remember what it's called, but it was basically about a gay teenager who's coming out and being gay. And what was funny is how the school kind of bent over backwards to support him. Like, he was about to ditch school with, I guess, his brother, and his brother got detention, but the school was like, we're just going to give you a warning. And he's like, why? And it's like, well, we just don't want to punish someone like you. And it was just so funny how this show played it up for laughs. I wish I could remember it. But, you know, during my generation, being gay was absolutely the worst thing possible. In fact, my stepfather kept calling me gay, you know, pretty much all of my teenage life. And I remember one time he's like, well, you're just so skinny and you never smile. And that's just like all gay guys. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
You're saying that all gay guys are very skinny, because I was super skinny as a child, and never smile. Doesn't gay mean happy?
Right? What the fuck? That makes no sense. I never smile, therefore I am gay.
Well, you know, if you're a lesbian, that means you're not having sex every day, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I could never be a lesbian. Oh my God. Like, women are just too complicated and off-putting. They're just so.
You know what the worst part about lesbianism is? There are two women.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy having sex with women. I enjoy pleasuring women and making out with women. That's probably my favorite part, is making out with women. The rest I'm not really that interested in. But I do enjoy that. But
so pretty much
are fun too.
Eyebrows.
Oh, hi, disabled gamer in the chat. Nice to see you. Thank you everybody for watching, by the way. If you haven't, check out the links in the description, because
Sponsored by Monster Energy Drinks. Warning, Coca-Cola products does not support this channel.
I wish. The word you're looking for, Medusa, is crazy. Women are crazy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, why does anyone kiss men? I don't understand. Yeah, I like kissing dudes too, but women are so soft. Well, it depends on if they're good kissers or not. If they're not good kissers and they can't like roll with my craziness, then they're not. Then they get tossed.
I mean, even modern Medusa is crazy. She's like one of the few women really in my life that's somewhat sane, but even she's crazy.
Right. But I'm crazy in some good ways, like the way that I dress like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas on a random live stream. Oh, I just need
nothing wrong with cosplay. No, truth be told, I agree with you. You are crazy in the right way, because you don't live by the standards that's set for all women. You fight for men, and your life would be so much easier if you gave in to the feminist narrative, that you made yourself a victim, that you let people dote on you, and you choose not to do that. You choose to follow your heart and do what's right based on what you know to be true.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think everybody should do. I don't really understand like women who like go out of their way to be like manipulative and deceiving. Like we were just talking to one of my friends who was living with someone that we both know that is very, very crazy, which you know the person that I'm talking about, but she was off the rocker. She goes against like all normal like imagine like
I narrowed it down to 1 to 2 people, and both of them are pretty crazy in your life. So
yeah. I mean, the one with the large tits.
I always liked her, or at least I liked her tits.
Yeah, the tits are nice. The rest. Oh, but yeah, I mean, I just don't really see the point in being, you know, manipulative like that. And like some, of course, what?
It's probably because your mother instilled a sense of fear in you that you
Yeah.
just did were told. But most girls that grow up today, especially in this generation, is that because we're so concerned about girls that parents go easier on girls, and that all they have to do is cry to either A, get their way, or B, get out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So
See,
they learn their
yeah,
poor parents teach girls to be manipulative and raise them as
yeah.
princesses that can do no wrong. So when they get out into the real world and realize, yes, they can do wrong, they turn on the manipulative side to get everyone to turn on those that's basically are their enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So they really like a guy and a guy doesn't want to date them. They say, I've been raped.
Yeah, and it's very, very more common with women than it is men. Because I know some men who would, go out of their way to be manipulative, but it's much more common in women from what I've seen. Just like even in like very small quantities, and it's like, can you just not be like a conniving little bitch? Like, just be a normal person. Oh.
Most of what I see is men being manipulative of women. And certainly there is those that are just sociopaths, but it mostly comes from the pickup artists community. Because, they want to date these women, but these women make it so difficult to even get into the front door, much less to be looked at. So they have to manipulate women into sleeping with them because otherwise they're not going to sleep with these women.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I feel
I'm not saying it's one gender's fault over the other. It's just that's the reality of it. If women stop having so many hang-ups, I think the pickup artist would disappear or severely reduce because there wouldn't be a need for it.
right. I mean, I feel like there's always going to be some types of people that are meant to hook up with each other, but also be like kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say crazy, but like, just the really shallow, selfish people that are always going to exist and like make other people like go the extra mile for them, but never end up actually doing anything good with their lives. I don't know. I feel like there's always going to be those kinds of people, but there's also like, I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. there's a lot of different genres of people.
The first thing that all men in the world need to do is stop giving women free drinks. I don't care how hot they are. I don't care how their tits hang out of their shirt. Stop giving them free drinks. Make those work for it.
That's one thing that I don't like about like online or meeting people online is because like when I'm trying to make friends, it's like they're asking me up front like, hey, can I ask you, or can I take you and get some drinks for you? And I was like, I don't know, like, why do you want to buy me drinks? Like, I have money. And then they're like, yeah, but I want to treat you nice and stuff like this. And I'm just like, I mean, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm not going to have sex with you. And they're like, yeah, but that's okay. I just want to, I'll and then someone was like, oh, I'll take you to Victoria's Secret and get you some lingerie. And I was like, I would feel very uncomfortable with that. Like, I don't accept gifts well, okay? Like, if someone gives me a gift, it's like once a year on my birthday or Christmas, and that's it.
I got her a gift. Have you received those yet?
Not yet, but I am looking out for them. Thank you. Oh, I can't wait. They're so cute.
Well, it sounds like those men want to roofie you, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, those are the kind of people that, like, I don't know. I tried to tell them, like, you don't have to buy things for people for them to like you, but I feel like that's just their culture. Like, that's what they do with, like, the chicks that they have their own standards for, and it's like, do you even want, like, a nice chick? Like, I feel like there's
There are no nice chicks, and I'm sorry to say that they're few and far between. And the moment one is discovered, she's snatched up by a good guy. And most of us are good guys, but there's a lot of nasty chicks out there. So if you're going to try to hook up with these horrible, shallow bitches, you've got to put out the money. And the first step, buy her a drink. Then if she shows some reciprocation, you got to, pay for the hotel room. You've got to pay for the date. You got to pay for the second dates. You just got to keep upping the ante. And the moment the money runs out, she's out the door.
Yeah. Oh, see, I've never been that kind of person.
But it is that way.
Please send me cookies. Someone said, can I send you some cookies for the holidays? Please send me gingerbread cookies and molasses cookies and chocolate chip cookies and snickerdoodle cookies and every other kind of cookie that you can think of. Send it to me. Also, check out my Amazon wish list in the bottom. That's where I got this.
Well, it's a necklace. I want to say something. Why is the offers only for you? I want a tattoo. I want more tattoos. I want cookies. And I understand this is your channel, but there's a guy on here as well. And this is a show that was made for men. So I'm just saying, check your privilege.
Okay, don't worry about it. Everybody is going to get what they want for Christmas. No, this thing is really nice. Thank you, Anon, for sending this to me. This is the kind of stuff you can send to me through my Amazon wish list. Just check it out. Oh, that was nice.
Well, that's better, Michael. But, it's just so funny to me looking at this chat how much stuff is directed to you. I mean, and I'm not trying to really make this old big thing, but I want you people in the chat to kind of take a look at yourself, and it's like, why do you think that you're putting all your direction towards her? There are people talking to me, and I do appreciate them. Loudmouth, he has made a few comments to me, but this is the Macho Show, and we're doing this for you men.
Well, there's not anyone. There hasn't been any other men on here yet, but oh yeah, good point. Someone said, "Dude, she's cute."
I just want to put that question out there. I'm not trying to say feel sorry for me, boo hoo, ha ha. No, just ask yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a legitimate point. People will always check out. People will always check out the chick more than they check out the dude. But tonight's actually going to be a shorter show, so it's all right if we don't have a guest on. I'm fucking tired as shit, so I'm sorry, guys, that we can't be on for very long. But
I would love a fleshlight. In all honesty, I've always sights set on one. I've just never had the money. So,
so wait, you've never had any kind of like sex toy?
Well, not a sex toy for me. I think my Hitachi Magic Wand. That was for the ladies.
Oh yeah. Okay. But not like a love glove?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah,
well, I do have one thing. Let me get it.
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm tired. But if you want to see pictures of me in this outfit, you can donate to paypal.me/Medusasgorgons, or you can send you GIFs or short videos of me doing whatever you want and stuff like that. Also art and t-shirts in the description. Yeah. Oh. An auto blow too. I think I know what that is. Oh no, my God. What the fuck? Oh wow, I was not expecting that.
Interesting story behind these. I went to a sex club with some chick I was doing about a year ago, and it was during St. Patrick's Day, and in one of the rooms was a golden condom. And we found the golden condom, and I could choose anything, so I chose the nipple clamps. To my eyes!
Oh my God.
I'm going to punish you, chat people, for not giving me enough attention.
Yeah.
Want my shirt back on, pay attention to
Here,
me.
I'll present you. Now you get all the attention. Shake it. Oh my God. So macho.
Macho! You know how much this hurts? And
Well,
I'm completely
can you not adjust them?
That is macho right there.
Can you not adjust how tight they are?
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay. You just have it on the tightest.
Of course, I'm macho.
Oh, okay. You ain't no pussy. Oh God.
It doesn't hurt. You're not doing it right. Am I right, fellas?
See, I have some of those too, somewhere around here.
Yes, but unlike you, I can show them on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a chain like hang in between them and intertwining them. Oh, but yeah, this thing, I'm gonna be using this tonight on my back. Oh.
And on the legs.
Oh yeah, you know it. All over. At first, the first thing I'm gonna do.
Camera in your home.
The first thing I'm gonna do is eat some goddamn food because I'm hungry as schlart right now.
You want to go ahead and call this to a close because it's been about an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could go ahead and start shilling if you want to.
All right.
Description.
Well, everything's down in the description, but you've got my Patreon. Yes, I'm still using it, and I'm very thankful for those who do donate to me because every bit helps right now in my life. But it's Christmas, so consider throwing me a few dollars. I definitely deserve it. If you're not comfortable doing Patreon because, you know, it is a crappy system, I've also got PayPal, and you can just throw me money directly through there. Just say that I'm a friend, so PayPal doesn't get any extra money. And if you don't like either of those options, understandable, buy my book. It's How to Destroy a Woman Now. And it's all about all the ways that you can hurt women in a relationship, which was done as a parody of a book, How to Destroy a Man Now, that actually teaches you illegal things to destroy men. And it is my hope that if we can make this book really popular, Amazon will take my book down, and then we can be like, why'd you take my book down and not the other book down? And we can get both books taken down. It's only $2.99, and Modern Medusa is on the cover.
Yes.
I'm beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, it takes balls to sub to me.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, for me, well, first of all, don't forget about the Lovely Ladies calendar.
Over December. Yeah. It's actually December now. That's January.
It is December, but you should still buy it because it's got cool stuff in it, and I'm in it, and all that. You know, there's me. Yeah, you can jerk off to my boobies and stuff, and send me tribute pics. Oh, so yeah, donate to paypal.me/lovelyladescalendar. Love these ladies if you want one of those, and I can sign it for another $5 if you want, and I can do that. And well, I mean, if you don't already know what I do, get with the times. I make GIFs. I make videos. I make art. I make pretty much anything you can ask. Just ask me to do something. I will put a banana in my butt. Just donate to PayPal.me/Medusa and I have merch, and I have art, and I have all that good stuff.
Will you GIF all over me?
Yes. GIF everywhere.
And don't forget, this month on the 21st is for Father's Day. So shout out to men.
Yay.
That's in the calendar. We put all of those crazy holidays you never hear about in the calendar. And we're going to do it for 2020.
Yes. So yeah, for those who are asking if there's going to be a 2019 calendar, no, because nobody freaking submitted for it, you buttholes. But for 2020, we're gonna that's our goal. So yeah, check that shit out. Don't forget to tune in next week when we talk about stuff. And if you want to be on the show, just message me on Twitter or at helpmemacho@gmail.com.
Is it me, or is when she shakes her arms like that, looks like she's jacking off?
That's what everybody says, and I mean, I have my massager right here, so I don't see why there would be a reason for me to do that, but yeah. Oh, that's just me shaking my legs. I'm sorry. Oh. What about my hog on every page? Yeah, we can make a calendar of dicks. That could work. Yeah, I put it on my wall.
I'm pretty sure by his hog he meant his Harley.
His dick on a Harley? That sounds sexy. Send me pics. Oh, okay. So yeah, tune in next week on the Macho Show.
Ooh, yeah.
Best time. Okay. And now I am a man.
Man.
Now you're a man. A man. Okay. Bye, guys.